Hey everybody, Brock Frady here, helping you enjoy your ride. In today's video, we're going to take a look at an impressive 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe all-wheel drive limited. This one is the hybrid version, and I'm thoroughly impressed at this vehicle. Number one, the looks of it. I love the boxy shape of this thing. It's absolutely stunning. It looks a little bit like a Range Rover Discovery. In this video, we're going to go over all the aspects of it, outside and inside, and then we'll take it for a drive. I think you'll be pretty impressed at this new Hyundai Santa Fe. But before we get started, I want to say a huge thank you to Impex Auto Sales in Greensboro, North Carolina for the opportunity to film this Santa Fe. I'll be sure to leave all of their contact information, including their website, in the description box below. The look of this thing is gorgeous. It is boxy. It's futuristic. It's elegant. The matte paint is just so freaking cool on this thing. I love the big fat wheels. I love the shape of it. The fact that also it is not huge. It might look big in this video, but it's not all that big. It has a third row seat. It'll seat up to 7. And it's incredibly comfortable. It's whisper quiet, and the technology on this thing is unbelievable. Check out how boxy that looks. From the outset, it looks like a big, tall station wagon. It is a proper, big, third row SUV with a good all-wheel drive system and tons of amenities. So let's start with the outside. It obviously has this super boxy, stretched out look, and that's what I love about it. It looks like a Range Rover Discovery, but it has so many cool little hidden features and things that you can tell Hyundai has gone to great lengths to just make it really neat. Here's the key fob. It's got a cool kind of slick, fancy looking key fob. There's another one that's black, but it's got that gold in it. One of the things that I don't like about Hyundais right now is the fact that their key fobs are absolutely massive. Look at that. Way too big. But anyways, the remote start works beautifully. Lock is on the top, unlock is here, then you have hold, and then over here on the side you have another hold button, and that opens the rear hatch. But the reason that I'm pulling this out is because you see an H right there. There are H's all over the outside. See that? And there is an H right there. See, it goes across, H. There are also H's all over the inside. And it's just pretty neat that there are all these little Easter egg H's all over the place. You can see that the mirrors are folded in because the doors are locked. We can unlock them. And you can see that the mirrors are now folding out. I love the wheels. That is a simple but kind of like an elegant look, and it goes so well on this particular vehicle because of in my opinion, because of that matte paint finish. I love the matte paint. When I first saw this thing in person, I didn't know what I was going to really think of it, just because, you know, it's a Hyundai Santa Fe. Give me a break. How cool can an SUV be? Goodness, this one looks even better in person than you can imagine. This is how you get into the gas tank. Once the doors are unlocked, you can just pop that open, gas tank, just like that. And then the H's continue around here on the back. You can see the 2 H's, that's your turn signals as well. There's also another neat feature, making sure the doors are locked, that you can program to the remote that if you get close enough to the rear, you don't even have to touch the back. There it is. Here comes, oh, I got 2, let's go. There it is. Now that takes a minute. I think that they'll probably improve that with time. But what I did there is I just had the key fob on me, and I approached the rear of it, and it opened the back of it. Obviously, if your arms are full, that's what you can do. This one, I don't think it has the old kick sensor down here to open and close the rear. Maybe it does, but I have not discovered that yet. There is your third row. There's not much room behind the third row when the third row is in the up position. And here is a look over the third row. The reason I'm doing this is because you've got a couple of cool little features right there. On the far left is going to be a climate control knob for the rear AC, and then you can see the vent there. Then to the right of that is a USB-C charger, and then an old school charger outlet that's going to be in your house. There is a little thing right here, and that is going to be for the tonneau cover for the third row when the seating positions are in the down position. Now, in order to collapse the third row so that you can have a lot more storage, you can pull this. It's a two-step process. You pull that, collapses the headrest, and then you pull this up and move it forward, and now your third row can be moved out of the way. That's a super easy process. You can see this one has that built-in Santa Fe all-weather mat that goes along the back of the back seats, so that makes it nice. And then you can see over here on the right side, left and right. So I'm going to push the left one, and that is going to fold that up, and look at how much storage space you have in this thing. Also, I did not mention this one also has the 2-panel moonroof and the lighting on the inside. It's got a ton of lighting on the inside that's really nice. And so it makes it feel super open and spacious and airy. But from a storage perspective, that's a ton of room right there. And it's super low to the ground, so you're going to be able to load things in there and remove things from there extremely easily. Another thing that I wanted to point out is you see these lights here? And you probably didn't notice, but when I unlocked it to begin with, when this door was closed, those lights did not light up. Those lights are lighting up now because they are auxiliary brake lights and turn signals, because the brake lights and turn signals are up in the air right now that are attached to the tailgate. So when the tailgate is up, that job goes to these little lights down here. We can press that down, and now the job of being a brake light and a turn signal is now going to go to those lights again. See, those are not working now. That's a pretty neat thing. There's some thought went into that, I'll say. Let's take a look at that storage space. There you go. That is a tremendous amount of room that you have there. So now we're putting up the second row seat, and it's actually pretty easy to put up. And you can see here that for the second row seat, the way you collapse that, or you can move this to get out of the way so that someone can access the third row, it's a 2-button process. You press this, actually 1 button, I'm sorry. So look at that. So I just pressed that button, and it's giving me access into the third row right now. Nice. Now this is a little bit difficult. You can take that and then move that back, and that's how you put the second row back into position. I said that it's a luxurious situation on the inside. This is what I mean. Check out that glorious wood paneling. You have a screen here. You have a brushed aluminum striated metallic looking material here. And you also have rear heated seats. That's on the outboard. Soft touch materials with nice stitching. And look, there's an H right there, kind of an H right there. That might be a bit of a stretch. The thing that's interesting to me is that there are controls, that there are no controls there, and that if you want rear climate controls, you got to reach around and do them from back there, from the right side or the passenger side on the third row. That's kind of a head scratcher. There's also a USB-C outlet right there in order to charge your devices. I like how there's a big division between the front moonroof and the rear moonroof. That big division there puts the rear moonroof more toward the back, so that your third row passengers can enjoy it as well. And that does make a big difference for how big it feels on the inside. Here you go. You have these really nice big bars, crossbars right here. And Hyundai, I think Hyundai sells a rooftop tent for this thing. And with the whole little ladder here, because what they want you to do is get out and go off-road in this thing. I don't know how capable it is off-road wise, but that's what Hyundai is wanting you to do, is to enjoy the outdoors. Taking a look on the inside of the front, this is where this thing absolutely shines, and it is so enjoyable. It's super, super nice. I love the color of this interior, especially with the exterior color. It just goes so well together. But before we hop into the front, let's take a look at the heart of the beast. Under the hood of the Santa Fe, you're gonna see a 1.6 liter turbocharged GDI 4-cylinder hybrid engine. The combined system power output is 231 horsepower. It has a total torque of 271 pound-foot and a 6-speed shiftable automatic transmission with H-track all-wheel drive. In the city, you're going to get about 35 miles per gallon. On the highway, 34 with a combined of 34 and a maximum tow capacity of 2,000 pounds. Now, I know you might be saying, man, that's a little bitty engine. But when you combine a 4-cylinder engine with power from electric motors and do you hear that? Good Lord. That was definitely a road race. Now, I know what you're saying, a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder engine, really? Well, yeah. When you slap a turbocharger on it and you give power to it from electric motors, it actually combines for pretty impressive numbers as far as horsepower, but mainly torque. It's got a ton of torque, and that feels really good. But it's got everything you need. You don't need a tremendous amount of horsepower in a vehicle that you're going to be driving around in the city mostly, and maybe taking out on the weekends to camping and hauling around your kids. You don't need a tremendous amount of power. You do need something that's fuel efficient. And so that's where this thing comes in at 35 miles per gallon. Now that's impressive on a vehicle that can do as much as this can do as far as hauling people and stuff. Nice. The overall length is 190.2 inches. Overall width is 74.8 inches. Height, 69.7 inches. Wheelbase, 110.8 inches. Ground clearance, 7 inches. It has a curb weight of 4,575 pounds, a maximum cargo capacity of 79.6 cubic feet. From the driver's seat is the best position in this vehicle. I absolutely love this car. I'm telling you right now, I would have no problem owning this thing like yesterday. It's so nice and it's so much fun to drive. And don't get me wrong, when I say it's fun to drive, it's not fun to drive in the traditional aspect of fun to drive. Throwing things around in corners and taking off fast and that kind of stuff. It's relaxing to drive. It's very soothing to drive, which you have to admit, that's 90% of the driving you do is just humdrum, A to B, work, school, store, right? And if that's the kind of driving that you're going to be doing, why not do it in a vehicle that feels so good, that fits so well, that is fuel efficient, that has the most cool, usable technology around? Let's take a look at that technology right now. You can see there's more H's. See that? See that little... There's an H right there. Yeah. And then you see the lighting, which by the way is customizable by color. You can see there's the beginning of the H and it goes there. and it goes all the way across and it finishes there. Just a bunch of cool little H's to represent Hyundai all over the place. By the way, if you've seen any of my Hyundai videos recently, I dogged them for this. I still don't really like this design because this just looks like it's totally forgotten about. With a vehicle that has all of this beautiful stuff on it, and then you have that as the thing that you look at all the time. But that is Morse code for H. Isn't that neat? On the left side of the steering wheel is going to be driver-centric things like radar cruise control and steering, lane mitigation and things like that. There's a Pages icon right here that's going to control the center cluster. Then over here on the right side is going to be audio things, voice commands, Bluetooth, and then mode for your, as far as your audio system is concerned. Over here on the right side of the Hyundai is going to be your wiper stalk, and you can see here is auto, and that is going to be your automatic rain sensing wipers setting. And then this, turning that to low and whatnot, is going to be for your rear wiper. And then you can see a little thing here that pops up when I turn that on. It's a reminder that your rear wiper is on. Then you can pull this down and it will do a mist wipe, but that is automatic and it wipes in accordance to the rain pattern. You can pull this toward you in order to rinse the windshield off, and then you can roll the end of this away from you in order to wash the rear window off. For your turn signals and your headlights over here on the left stalk, you can roll that to auto, and that is going to cause them to cut on as soon as the sun begins to go down. Then you have a 3-blink lane change thing here. And then when you also use your turn signals, you can see there are cameras that are mounted on the underneath the outside mirrors. So when you turn your left signal on, there's a turning mirror right there. You can see the side of the Santa Fe right there. And then of course, when you do it on the right one, there's a blind spot camera right there as well. So that is going to be your turn signal and headlight stalk. Over here on the left side in front of my knee is going to be park, and this is going to be gauge brightness, rear tailgate, and traction control off. You can see a little sensor right there. It just looks like a little robot that's looking at me and that it has eyes. The only reason you can see that on the camera is because of the camera refresh rate. You cannot actually see that. I cannot see that with my eyes. It just looks black. And that is so that it can see your face and recognize if you are distracted, and if you're distracted for too long, it will make a audible indicator to let you know, hey, look at the road. That's pretty nice. I love the color of this. I love the heated steering wheel. The steering wheel feels really good. Brushed, striated looking aluminum panel here. And then you also have a wood look here. That is just absolutely gorgeous. And how this whole big panel here comes and it wraps around and it makes it very driver centric. It's just super, super luxurious inside this cabin. Now let's talk about the driver's stalk. You can see there's this stalk right here that's on the end. And it's nice. It's taken a little bit of getting used to, but the placement of it is super smart. Otherwise, you would have a stalk here, or like your gear changer here that you would do, or you would have a thing here that you would do. Instead, they put it out of the way, put it into a place that's familiar, and made it very simple. All you do is put your foot on the brake, and then it's in park now. As you can see, that is highlighted, and in order to engage it in drive, you roll it forward, and now we're in drive. In order to engage reverse, roll it back, and now we're in reverse. There's your backup camera. By the way, this is the best backup camera system I've ever seen in a vehicle. It's wonderful. And then in order to engage in park, you push the end of the stalk, and now we're in park, and it will automatically engage the parking brake if you wish, and that is it. Taking a look at the right side of this beautiful panel here is going to be your main screen. You can swipe and you can see how responsive it is to touch. It is very sensitive without it being overly sensitive. It's just a fabulous setup. This is your main home screen, and then I can swipe right and I can see all kinds of different settings. If you press setup, it takes you into a setup screen, and this is where I recommend spending some time when you first get one of these. I would recommend just kind of going through every single one of these and getting used to it. And don't worry, it's not as hard as your mind might think. It's actually really, really easy. You can go vehicle. So all we did is we just went setup, then we went vehicle, and then we went driver assistance. And so now this is going to take you into all kinds of different safety modes right here. And that's the first one: driver assistance, driving convenience, driving safety, attention warning. And so you can go into convenience, safety, attention warning, even speed limit, and you can make adjustments here to exactly the way you want it to be. You can go drive mode and optimize even braking in drive mode change alert. Eco vehicle, you can make it start coasting, because this one is the hybrid, and whenever you coast, you recharge your batteries. So this is about coasting. So activating the coasting guide helps users save fuel. It displays the word coast to recommend when to release the accelerator. And so now coasting guide is active. And so on the main screen on the left, while I'm driving, it will say coast, and I can let my foot off the accelerator to charge the battery to get better fuel economy. Under climate, you have all of these different options to where you can recirculate the air. Check this out. You can activate air recirculation when you enter a tunnel. It automatically blocks outside air when entering a tunnel. Genius. You can also activate air recirculation when you use washer fluid, so that the scent of the washer fluid does not enter the cabin. How cool is that? Seat position changing, lights, that's the one-touch turn signal. You can change it from 3 flashes to 5, all the way up to 7. Headlight delay, high beam assist. I love this, so that you can use your high beams without blinding people. There's door unlock, digital keys, and then finally convenience. So we got there by using the general. So we went to setup first. So we went to setup, then general, and vehicle, driver assistance. So now you can go in under vehicle and you can look at all of these, and you can make it work the way you want it to work in order. Also, another one, check this out. You have a blue light filter, and you can make it warmer, see that? Cooler, so that it reduces eye strain. Oh, I love that. Screen layout. It's just great. So that's going to be under setup. Then you have sports, you have weather, you can even record voice memos. Swiping right again, there's valet mode, and that locks this screen so that whenever you give your keys to a valet, they cannot access personal information, notifications. And so this is just a quick little overview of the screen there. This is wonderful because it's an online manual, and all you do is scan the QR code with your phone. It will automatically display the manual for your Hyundai. Apple CarPlay, it does have wireless Apple CarPlay, which is absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Hyundai, for making the Apple CarPlay wireless. Then you have this panel down here. This is a kind of a combination of a flat panel with buttons and knobs right there. You have all of these buttons that are connected to the screen above, home, map, search, media, and then of course your hazard lights. But then you have all of these climate settings here, and this is going to be your heated and ventilated seats. I actually have the ventilated portion on right now, and it is cooling the seat nicely. Then you have also driver only. So if you are the only one in the vehicle, you can hit driver only, and it will remove kind of what this button is saying. You see that? Then I can see. But if I hit driver only, it takes that away to make it simpler to use the features. Heated steering wheel, automatic adjustment for the fan speed, and then recirculate, and all of the different things there. Then you also have auto hold, and that makes it so that it keeps your brakes on at a stoplight or a stop sign, so that you can take your foot off the brake and it will keep it still. Drive mode, you can press this and it says Sport, My Drive, Eco, Snow, and that's the different drive modes. Four-wheel drive. Lock, that's when you're on a in nasty terrain and you need equal power to go to all four wheels. And then this is like a downhill brake control, and so that all you do is, if you're in a nasty situation going downhill, you can hit that and it will control the brakes, and all you do is steer. This is for your camera system. This is a wonderful camera system. And then parking assist, and that is going to be the parking sensors that are on the bumpers that beep when you get too close to something. And right now we're looking at the tray down here where normally a shifter would be, but obviously the shifter is on the column. You do have all kinds of charging things that are going to be right here, and you have Qi wireless charging. You can see my phone it's charging my phone right now. But you also have a super cool little button, and it says UV-C. So whenever I press that button, the light comes on, but I don't see anything that actually happens in the cabin. But what the UV-C button does is when you press it, it actually activates a light under here, and with UV rays, it sanitizes your phone. So right now, my phone is being cleaned. Is that not the coolest feature you've ever seen in your life? I feel so silly because the camera just seems like it's so far away, and I look little bitty in the screen thing. But that's just goes to show you the cabin size in this thing. It is fabulous. I've been driving with my wife, and had 3 kids in here today, and they're grown adults, but they were able to fit in this thing beautifully, and everybody was comfortable. Heated seats in the back. So this thing is showing me how enjoyable driving can be without having to be sporty and performance oriented. This is luxury driving in a vehicle that is like not a super luxurious price tag. So where luxury brands for these features, you're going to be paying $85,000-$90,000. It seems insane to me to pay that when you could get a Hyundai Santa Fe. I would get this exact one, even the color combination, in a hybrid, and have all that same luxury, but pay this price tag. It is just, it's a no-brainer to me. I love this vehicle. By the way, this one also has the Bose sound system upgrade, and the sound system is not quite at the level that I would really want it to be, but it's totally sufficient. The thing that I think that has struck me about the Santa Fe is the fact that it is just whisper quiet. It's contributed to by the fact that it's the hybrid drive system, and when you come to a stop, the engine shuts off, and then you drive on electricity for a few seconds. But on the flip side of that, since it is such a small 1.6 liter 4-cylinder engine, when you really mash on the gas, you can tell. It sounds like a little bitty 1 liter gas engine. But what's weird about it is that the combination of the electric motors and the engine itself, it does have the power and the torque that you need, and you feel safe with getting out onto the interstate, merging out into traffic. At no point have I ever felt like the power lacks in this thing. It's got all I would need. Another thing that I do love is Hyundai's radar cruise control and how it uses how it keeps you inside the lane. It almost feels like auto steering, and it will let you, without putting very little interaction into the steering wheel, feels like it will actually steer you really well. It really is a slick system, and it knows what it's doing. From a fuel economy standpoint, around 36 miles per gallon for a vehicle this size, that can't be beat. So overall, if you are a family that is in need of a super luxurious vehicle without paying $100,000, a super luxurious price, it's just an absolute no-brainer. Because it's not a minivan. It's got such a cool look on the outside of it. It looks muscular and aggressive, but it's crazy functional and luxurious when you get inside. So much thought has gone into this vehicle. Great job, Hyundai. Okay, everybody, that's going to do it for our in-depth look at the 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe Limited Hybrid. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. But remember, the most important thing of all, have a wonderful day, everybody.